Hello, anyone that might be watching. I know this is a real rarity for me to pop on here and do a live. Honestly, I'm not sure when I did the last one. So I just have been working on kits all day long, and I really want to make one of these. So I'm going to show you up close. Bring the camera down a little bit. This is dollar store flowers, inexpensive flowers that have been taken apart and glued together with a few additions that make them fancy pants. So I was gifted these from Susan for ideas for Defy. Hi Teresa. Hi Arlene. Um, so I have taken them and played with them. You can tell which ones are hers. They have brown circles on them, but this I lost my center on this one, but they're so much fun. So here's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to first off show you just flowers I've tore apart. And I like to take 3 or 4 different ones and mix them up so they're not just one color or one style, because then that's just putting your flower back together. Some of the things that I have been using or am going to use is the roll of tulle kind of lace. Yep, fancy pants flowers. I'm going to use some ribbon. It's got snowflakes and Christmas trees, but I really don't think you'll notice. I have some tulle that's sparkly with lines on it. I have all kinds of lace and trims and yarns and fibers. I have a little stash started right here. All kinds of fun things. They don't have to be big pieces. They can be small pieces. So let's get started. And yes, I'm going to be using a glue gun. I never use a glue gun, but I'm going to, because it needs to be finished in this. You don't want to sit and wait for glue to dry. So I'm going to start off with a piece of quilt batting to make my circle. And these are my old shears. I've had these since 7th grade. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to start off with that. And this just lets the back be pretty. It was in a donation. I don't know where it came from. It is very pretty. So got to get that little glue dot off there. Let's hope I can even use a hot glue gun. And I'm going to put my leaves on there. And I'm going to start. I already laid this out once, so I kind of knew what I wanted. I'm going to just lay this one. So now I've got to start. The leaves aren't showing much, so I can kind of turn this while it's still wet. So, maybe the leaves will poke out a little better or offset it. It's a flower. Nature's not perfect, right? So I'm going to start off with this one. This has a touch of pink in it. And I'm just gluing around the hole, or in the center, I should say. Okay, so I got that done. Now we're going to put some fancy pants stuff in there. I don't know where I want to start. I do know I want to use some fibers because I think that will be fun. I'm going to make a mess of things here because I'm just going to chop off some fibers. So now I'll have little bits falling all over, I'm sure. And here's a piece of lace and this piece of lace. And I wanted to use some of this lace. Everything is kind of in a knot now. That's all right. It's much better than it was. And you can, do what you want with this. Start it how you want. You can kind of get started and measure how much so you're not wasting any. But for the speed of getting through this video, I just cut a piece it's probably not going to be long enough. I'm just taking a piece of gathered lace and kind of puckering it. It's awfully hard to see that white and white. And hopefully it's long enough. Because I don't really want it pretty because that's what makes it fancy. I know that makes no sense, but it was long enough. So now I have, and yes, the glue is hot. So I have to, touch and lift and touch and lift. Okay, now we're going to go for this one. And now I want to put some fibers in there. And I want them to kind of stick out and be wild and crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right, put a little bit of glue and stick them out and kind of zigzag them through here. With this eyelash yarn, you have to be careful and make sure you get the base of it, not just the eyelash part. And yes, it's a kind of sloppy thing, but it's okay. Okay, so ouch. Yes, it's hot. Hi, Sharon. So now I'm going to snip these where I kind of zigzagged them because I want it fringy, not foldy. Yes, I make my own words. Yes, and I make a mess. So we've got this down, and let's put on, how many more layers did I pick out? I have 3 more layers. So now I'm going to put this one on. No, I'm not, because it's not the right size. Because you don't want to put a little one in there and you never see it. This one wants to flip over, so I'm going to fix that. It's not flipping over anymore. Yes, I could get a pencil or something and push down on these. I know. And I think I want, let's put something sparkly in there. And you can put a layer between every layer. I mean, it's totally up to you, however you want to do it. And all I'm going to do is just make a circle, a very ugly, not perfect circle. And I'm going to put that in there. Just a dab of glue. Because this is so sheer, I am going to be a little more cautious with the fingers. And now I'm going to put another layer on. And I'm just going to put a few little pieces of this in there. It doesn't need a lot because it's already got a lot of action going on. Just want a little bit. Sorry about that. And I'm going to stick the last center on. Or the center of the flower. And now you can do whatever you want for the center. I had some buttons here and I have moved them. So I'm going to use a button. I think some flat backs would be really, really pretty in here. Get some more bling. But I'm just going to use this mother of pearl button. And there's my fancy pants flower. And you really don't see the leaves. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to tear this part off and take this part off. I'm going to cut my leaves. I do like to show you the different ways when you don't like something, how easy sometimes it is to fix. Just because it didn't work out doesn't mean you have to pitch it. Whoops. Unless you put the leaves on backwards. Now, double glue in there and hold that on, rather. And now you see the leaves just a little bit better. So there's your fancy smancy flower. And it's just a dollar store, one bundle. And I don't know how many flowers you'll get. Well, actually, there's three different flowers here, so you would get a ton for that. But this is going to be a kit I am making. And I'm going to do another one really quick. I am not going to put the batting on the back because I am trying something different. So I'm going to start with this one. And I want to do some pink because I have the pink. And I want a big circle. And I am just free-forming this because honestly, you just see the edges anyway. If you didn't want to waste things and have more stuff left over, you could easily cut the center out. I don't know why you would want to, but you could. And you may find that after you've done this and you've got all your everything stacked, like it's really sticking out far here and here, but we can trim it afterwards, and that's what we're going to do. Then I'm going to do this one because I wanted to do pink and white. And now I'm going to do some lace. Let's see. This one's only going to show part of the way because of the shape. My poor scissors, they need to go visit a sharpener. No, I think that covers too much. Let's go with that Christmas ribbon. I know I have a piece cut. Yes. So this is the wired, hi Goldie, Christmas ribbon that I had. And you can pull the wires out, but I'm going to try something real quick. I'm just going to do some pleats. That may be too much too. Yeah, that's too much. I want this just to kind of be a little bit subtle, not the whole flower. But then, when I'm done, who knows what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to do some of this lace. It's got a pink, real pale pink ribbon running through it. And I went ahead and put the whole amount of glue on there, which might not have been smart. It might be cooled off a little before I get done, but we're going to see. And I'm just roughly pleating it as I go, just so it lays more flat. And I'm going to cut this. I'm going to pull it in a little bit so you can still see a lot of the pink. Again, if you want to move it a little bit, it's hot glue and fabric really does come apart pretty easy. And if you're using regular glue, of course, you've got time to let it dry, move before it dries. That's what I want to say. Okay, so I think that I already went out of order in the petals I had, because what I have now is a lot bigger. So I'm going to put this one on. And then I want to put some of this on. This is so pretty. And I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this right here. And not cutting as well on this part because it's going to be under there. And I'm just going to put this, and this is going to kind of determine that how my flower is going to hang. Actually, I think I'm going to cut this apart, or not hang, but how it's going to lay. So I'm going to do that, and then I can decide if I want to put it over here or just, I think I want them kind of side by side. I have to tell you that the two that I made already on the samples I showed at the beginning, I really worked with those. These, I'm just winging it. I was making the kits and I wanted to make a flower. So that's where this has come from. And if you have little bits, stick like where I cut this out, these little pieces that stick off here, stick them out in, see what they look like, because you can always go in and snip them out later if you want. This is kind of one of those, there's no wrong way to it. Now I'm going to put some more flowers on. And some of it shows real good and some of it doesn't. But if you look, you can just catch that little bit of sparkle. And then we're going to put a pink one in there again. Oh, wait, it needs something in there. That's just too plain. Let's see if we can make this not so big and in the way. Yes. And this time I'm going to take some of this. When I cut stuff before I decided to do this, I was like, oh, I'll need this and this, and I haven't even touched half of what I cut up to do this with. So it takes very little. And I kind of want like a little nesty mess here. Not a nasty mess. Nesty mess. And something that I'm going to be adding, because I have them from a previous project, is some stamens. I had stuff stuck to me. And you could even take these just for something pretty and have them stick out somewhere. So there's so many things you could do. Like the one that, this one here has some of the little wedding pearls sticking out. And then these are just little beads that have been wired into sticky out things. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue there and hope that I can get these to stay down. without killing my fingers. It looks kind of messy right now, which honestly I don't really mind. And the buttons that I have handy are still the white ones. Well, we all know I just used one. Where did I put them? So I'm going to go ahead and use this. Let that glue down. Pick all this stuff off my fingers. Okay, this is the worst part. Everything's sticking to me. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this down quite a bit. I'm going to try to stay in the circle and try to not cut off the petals underneath or above. You just want a hint of things sticking out. You don't need that crazy amount. But you never know. You know, when you get started, you may think, oh, I need that. And then you don't. Or you may think, no, I don't, but I'm going to leave it because I'll trim it all later. So now it's much better. And you can even take these little things that you cut out, put a little glue on them. Yes, I'm going to pinch that, but I'm doing it fast. And then you could stick this in somewhere just to have a little extra frou-frou if you wanted to. You don't have to. And it's not wanting to stick, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it there, but that's just something else you could do, is just stick in little bits. Make the whole flower, and then just take your little bits and stick them in where you want them so that there's lots of different textures in there. I think this back flower is a little bit big for that. A little too spindly, or, you know, long, skinny petals. But I still like it. I would definitely use it. So I'm going to put some leaves on it. Again, like I said, these were just the cheap stuff at dollar store. So the plastic is still on some of these leaves. I'm going to take that apart. That little thing out of there because we don't need that bulk plastic on the back. Especially if we're going to put this on a book or a journal or something. And then, see, I love these leaves because they fray out like that. So I'm just going to kind of determine where I want them. And again, I'm going to have to cut them apart because they're so much smaller than the flower. And, you know, maybe you don't want leaves. And that's okay too. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue there, determine which side I want up. And there's one petal or leaf. And maybe 2 is enough for you. Or maybe you want this extra one right here. It's all up to what you want, how you want to do it. It's your flowers. So, yep, that's about all I had for today. At least I did something constructive. I'm pretty excited. And I popped on and did a live, which is pretty rare. So I hope you all enjoyed this. And if you got some flowers and some scraps, you can easily make this. And if you feel, like I said, if you feel like something is too much or too long, just give it a little haircut. You could even do that with the petals if you wanted to, but I think I would get picky and want to make each petal its shape. In the lace and trims, you just can snip. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you take the time to make you some flowers and find a fun place to use them. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate you stopping by. Bye-bye.